Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead with a leftover makeover meal, from roast beef to stew. Now, we had a roast beef last night, and I'm actually going to take some of this beef and cut it up and put it in the fridge for another meal. But with this, I'm going to add some carrots, potatoes, onions, and bone broth, beef bone broth, and we're going to make stew. Let's do that. First things first, I'm going to take the meat out of the pan here, scrape the gravy off. We're going to want that gravy, all of it, for the stew part. Definitely enough here for 2 more meals. Well, this meal and another one. So let's just say, yeah, let's put this one away. We'll put this away for another day. And now, before I go any further, the meat is already cooked, okay? So it can be cut up and put in last. Right now, 4 jars always pops. I've turned my burner on medium to high, and I'm going to add this bone broth in there. The onions, these are my last 2 carrots. And this is just a half a bag of onions I had in the freezer. I don't always use a full bag. All right. We're going to let that heat up while we peel and dice our carrots and potatoes. Just leave the meat. I'm going to set the meat in the bone broth jar and get it out of my way here for a minute. Maybe I'll make some biscuits to go with this. Bought those carrots a week ago and they were already going bad. This was nice potatoes. If I had known they were going to be this nice, I would have got Howie to get, they were only 5-pound bags, but they were on for $1.88. And if I had known they were going to be beautiful potatoes like this, I would have got them to get more. Put my lid on that pot, get things heating up faster. And then I'm just going to chop these up and give them all a rinse, and then put them in, and then turn it down and let it simmer. It's an hour and a half to supper, so we want our veg to be fairly small, so they'll cook in time. Give these a rinse and get these in. Starting to heat up nice. Get our potatoes in there. Do our meat. I'm going to put this last piece in with the other one, because that's all the meat we're going to need for our stew, and this will make another meal tomorrow. Now look, isn't that gorgeous? Look. Let that simmer away. We'll bake some buttermilk biscuits, and that's going to be a beautiful pantry pull leftover makeover meal. But you know what? We need to add some more seasoning because we've added veg. Garlic, salt, and pepper. Do you know what? I almost forgot to add the zucchini. That hidden vegetable. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. And we're just going to put this on low and let that simmer till Father gets home. Okay, so now we're going to make some buttermilk biscuits to have with our stew. First off, we're going to throw some flour in there. You can measure if you want, folks. I don't bother. Why? Because I go by texture. A little bit of baking powder. If you're using buttermilk, you don't need baking powder. You can use baking soda because it has a chemical reaction with the acid in the buttermilk. But I have baking powder. I'm going to use it. Alrighty. Now, yes, I know. I told you I was going to get rid of my friggin' grater, but I didn't. Nan brought butter at Christmas, and she always brings unsalted, so I save it for things like pastry and biscuits. Should actually add some salt in there. Okay, we're just going to grate some butter in here, toss it about. You want to get the butter out, you just grab a bit of flour and you run your hand down inside there. Let's see what we got. We got butter, flour, baking powder, and a bit of salt. And we're going to add in a little bit of buttermilk. We're just going to give that a stir with our hand, just like if we were making pastry. If I have to add more flour, I will. You don't want to overwork it too much because you don't want to work the butter in. We want these flaky. And that's our oven preheated. 375 degrees. I'm going to take my biscuits here. I'm going to break them up into 4. And I'm just going to pat them in. My skillet's a little too big for this job, but we'll get her done. We'll put 4 biscuits in the center here. So these are going into a 375 degree oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, let's dish up some stew for Father here. Oh yeah, look at that. How hungry are you, dear? Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You'd never know that was a leftover makeover meal. That beautiful biscuit. Look at that. Do you want 1 or 2? 2, please. Well, that's why I cooked 4 of them. Nice and fluffy. Oh yeah. Butter on them biscuits. Whoops. Shut the oven off. Oh, they're falling apart. They're so fluffy and flaky. And then we need some pepper for Father's stew. And we'll take that to Father. Remember the roast beef we had last night? Yeah. Well, this is a leftover makeover meal. Beef stew with biscuits. And I still have enough beef left over for supper tomorrow night.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's darn tasty.
Well, it should be. Slaved over it all day. Now, biscuit.
Okay, give me a second.
Try to get your hands on some meat. Oh, for Gracie. Oh, dear, thank you, Daddy. Oh, my goodness. She's going to want a piece of your biscuit, too, eh?
I'm sure she will.
They're flaky.
They are. Biscuits and gravy.
Well, not quite. Stew and biscuits.
Well, lots of gravy.
There you go. Leftover makeover meal. Double thumbs up. Thank you, darling. Well, you didn't think they were all going to be revamped videos, did you? This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and that is roast beef meal number 2. No, you didn't see the first one because roast, carrots, potatoes, onion, Dutch oven. That's what you got. Mwah! Take care. God bless.